People say that social media is for the young. Isn't it? Nope. Social media is for everyone. Even for weird, nerdy, liberal, 50-year-old idealistic oddballs like me. Welcome to Nerdopause. Hello, it's me again. I have made it to the second video. Yay! I have had, as I predicted, people watch my last video who I know, and they thought it was pretty good, except that my jump cuts were a little harsh. And I cannot promise that's going to get better, but I will try, because I'm learning. It took a village. My daughter taught me how to adjust certain things, and my husband kicked in with some other things, and I am hoping that I get better and better at this as it goes along, but there's a good likelihood that it's going to look like this for a very long time, and for that I apologize. We'll see. Now today I would like to talk about something I think is both kind of toady, in that I'm 50 now, and I think kind of nerdy. Soup. I love soup. It's filling. It's easy to make, at least the way I make it. It's versatile. It can be adapted to different diets. You can make it gluten-free, vegan, vegetarian, omnivore, carnivore. Soup is kind of timeless. It stretches back through human history. There's mentions of it throughout literature. It brings people together. It's a comfort food. You pop open a can of soup, boom, you've got a meal. We're lucky I got this far, to be honest. I hope it gets better. Don't get me started on the wonderful thing called a crock pot. How toady is that? I love my crock pot because I can throw things in it in the morning, and when I get back from work, it's magic. The crock pot. I like the crock pot. It's nice. I'm going to share with you 3 of my go-to soup basics, and I always have these 3 things in my cupboard. First of all, instant potatoes. Okay? They are not a health food. I admit that. Real potatoes are better, and if you want to go to the effort of boiling real potatoes and mashing them up and making this, that's fantastic. It'll taste even better. By the way, if you use real potatoes, boil them with the skin on. You know that thing? You boil them with the skin on, you throw them in a bowl of cold water. It's true. The skins just slide right off and your potatoes are peeled. You have these. You go to the back. You make the recipe for 6 servings. Follow that. And then you just keep adding either milk or water until it is pleasingly soupy. And then you can throw stuff in it. Cheddar cheese, sour cream, chives, green onions. It's delicious. The next thing I always have is a can of petite diced tomatoes. With this you can make vegetable soup, vegetable beef soup. You can make vegan vegetable soup. And what you do is you add a large can of the tomatoes and the same size can of water if you're making it for like vegetarian vegetable soup. If you're making a vegetable beef soup, you add the can of tomatoes and the big box of beef broth. You saute mushrooms and yellow onion and in a little bit of olive oil or regular oil and some garlic. And throw that in with the tomatoes and the water in the soup pot. And then you add your vegetables. Browned ground beef. Boom! Dinner. The last thing I always have is from my years spent in Japan. I always have the makings for miso soup. In this case, it's dashi, which is fish stock, and it's powdered, and miso paste. And so this is, obviously, if you are vegan and you don't eat any kind of meat at all, you can just use this. The taste ends up a little different. For about 4 to 6 cups of water, I add a couple tablespoons of this, but you can add more or less. And then I get about a 1/4 cup of this, and I put it usually in one of those baskets, those silver baskets you'd use to strain something. Just kind of slowly break it down in the nice warm water. Don't let it boil. Give it a taste. If it tastes good to you, then you can add stuff. You can add potatoes and green onion. You can add tofu. You can add, if you're making it like a big stew, then you can add meats and other things. This is another big one. And with these 3 things, I've pretty much got dinner set anytime I really don't feel like cooking stuff. My gift to you. In my last video, I chose to focus on the word integrity. And I really feel that the first step to being able to live within our human community and within our global community is to know yourself, to take care of yourself, to believe in yourself. If a person's having trouble within themselves, they really won't be able to live and focus and work outside themselves with or for others. We're never done working on ourselves. We're never done working on all of this. But I really believe there's a point for each of us where we are ready to grow outside ourselves, ready to reach out to other people. And when we get to this point, we're ready to consider today's word, acceptance. I've been talking a lot with amazing people around me about tolerance versus acceptance. And tolerance is a really hot word right now. It's everywhere. It's in print, it's in articles, it's in academic papers. The concept of tolerance. And it's a positive concept. The Merriam-Webster Dictionary defines tolerance as sympathy or indulging the beliefs or practices in others that are different or that conflict with your own. Tolerance can also refer to when we allow something to happen. Acceptance is a bit different. The Merriam-Webster Dictionary defines acceptance as the state of accepting someone or something. It's to see something or someone as proper and normal and inevitable. It's to accept, or it's to recognize the truth. Acceptance is to recognize the truth in something or someone. I believe there's a place for both tolerance and acceptance. But when I'm thinking about people and cultures and the differences that exist between us, I have to admit I lean more towards accepting than tolerating. I'm going to tell you why. Tolerance almost seems passive, and within the definition of it, there is this kind of sense of reluctance. It's this kind of a passive reluctance to just let something be. But acceptance requires work. To accept that something is true or normal, it requires active thought, sometimes even physical action, to go out and experience different cultures and to experience different foods and different ways of living and different beliefs. You have to invest in it. A person can tolerate a lot and not change inside themselves. But in order to accept something, a person has to be willing to embrace that which is new and sometimes uncomfortable. Most importantly, I think that many adults think that tolerance and acceptance means agreement. In my opinion, you can tolerate something and you can accept something and you can still disagree with pieces or parts of it. That's not the idea. You can still disagree, but you've accepted it as being true and normal and worthy of respect for that person, even if you disagree. That's acceptance. I'd say if a person has reached the point where within themselves, they've reached the point within themselves when they can disagree and still accept others and respect them and let them live their lives. That's the sign of real growth in that person. It's the mark of the beginnings of a global citizen. I think it's really important that adults understand that you can accept and you can tolerate, you can still disagree, and it doesn't have to become a battleground. The adults need to understand this so that we can teach the young people. They follow where we lead, from birth all the way up until they become us. We're laying the groundwork for the next generation. And if they see that we're willing to go to battle rather than learn tolerance and acceptance inside ourselves, we're going to not do a lot of positive changing. In my heart of hearts, that's what I believe. And I'm just going to let them nod. I'm putting words in their mouth. They're looking at me again with their little bobble-headed eyes. Poof. Magic. I'm in a new room. I'm in a new room to say goodbye for this video. I'm going to be going to California to visit family until January 15th. And I am going to try to make a video while I'm gone. But if I don't, I just wanted to thank all of you, all two of you, maybe one of you, maybe just me. I want to thank myself for watching this. And I wish you all a very warm and family-filled winter. And I will see you in the winter. It'll still be winter when I see you again. Take care. Take care of each other. And remember, stay nerdy.